Oh, oh, that was a horrendous start. My voice was just very croaky. What is up, people? Hope you are doing well. Let me just get a sip of water. Hope you are doing well. That's a bit better. As always, guys, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course, make sure you do go and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. You can find the link to Elevate Trade's Discord channel completely free to join. Link in the description, also at the top of the chat. You can join discussions, chat with myself. I share ideas there, so do other people. And of course, you can find out a lot more information about Elevate Traders if you are looking for it. So make sure you go check it out if you are interested. But guys, welcome back to another stream. As I said, hope everyone is doing well. Himanshu, we will go through Euro Aussie S&P 500. We will take a look, no problem. FX Wolf, what is up? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Yeah, it has been a while. Hope you're doing good. We'll go through Euro Yen, 100%. Manchu, yes, we'll take a look at S&P and Euro Aussie for you. Rita, what is up? Euro Yen, Pound Yen. Yeah, we'll go through all the yen pairs as well. I'm just going to go through the USD side of things first. Take a look at the dollar, USD majors, gold and silver. Then I'll start to go through some of the yen pairs. Indices. We'll go through some other requests as well. Tapella, welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Ahmed, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing good. What is up? JETV, hope you're doing well. Gold, yes, we'll take a look at gold as well shortly. So as I said, I'll go for the dollar pairs first, take a look at the USD majors, gold, silver as well. We'll go through some indices. And again, I'll take a look at some yen pairs. Of course, any other requests, let me know. And of course, if there's a particular time frame you do want to see my analysis to, let me know in the chat as well. What's up, man? Zondi, welcome to the stream. So first things first, the DXY, the dollar. So I was looking exceptionally bearish. Well, I was going to say this morning, it is looking very bearish this morning, but yesterday was very bearish too. It was a really, really big drop there, price taking up the lows. I've been hinting at this move for the past few weeks. I was looking for a slightly bigger pullback this week. Didn't really happen, so missed out on a few moves on pound USD, on euro. They didn't quite set up. I am shorting dollar CAD. I'm still kind of shorting USD, but well, I am shorting USD. But yeah, not moving as well. We'll go through that shortly because CAD has been very, very weak as well. But yeah, DXY, really big move to the downside. Looks like we got that next low high, 1, 2, and there's our third. Wasn't as big of a pullback as I was hoping for. Was looking for a slightly bigger pullback into this area. Like I said, we kind of just dropped really hard this week. And now price is breaking through the lows. So in my book, because of how much momentum we're seeing, the fact that price tried to break through the highs here and failed quite miserably, it looks like this to me is just a bit of a fake out above the highs. And now I'm expecting to see a lot more downside in the near future for the dollar, perhaps all the way back down to the lows here. So because of this, I'm now very bearish on the DXY, kind of longer term now a little bit back to 100. I'm only looking for pullbacks and more downside really. So looking to buy the USD majors, of course, short dollar CAD, short dollar CHF, short dollar yen as well. But I do expect to see a lot more weakness now for the DXY. So a nice opportunity would be if price would be kind enough to come back, retest some structure. That would be very, very nice. We've got a lovely support level here, which price broke through, haven't really come back to retest around 106.154. That would be a great place for another retest, and again another lower high for perhaps more downside. We got a key area here where we did see a lot of momentum come through in the past, so that could be a nice potential target for the next big swing, which is around the 103.8. Like I said, long term, I'm actually looking for a pushback to 100, but of course we'll take it step by step. That would be probably the next feasible target, or even if we just pull back wherever that swing low does form, that would make a lot of sense. But what we can take away is that USD is very, very bearish. I'm expecting more of it, to be honest. Looking at Euro USD, of course, we've got the exact inverse of that. Very, very bullish, big move to the upside. The key thing with Euro is that we're breaking above resistance here very aggressively. So as I was hinting at yesterday, this is left behind a really nice place for a pullback and a retest. Will we see a pullback all that way? I'm not too sure. It would be asking a lot for the market to come all that way. There is a brief area where we did pause on the lower time frames. that could be an interesting area which perhaps could send euro to the upside. Again, if you're looking for a bigger correction, a bigger swing, then you would be waiting for that bigger pullback to happen for the buy. If you're a bit more intraday, you might be looking at 1.06200. That brief kind of pause in the market down the hourly chart might be a nice place for a temporary bounce to the upside, a nice intraday trade. So it depends what you're looking at. But in terms of direction, very, very bullish for euro. Snap through this area here as well. And again, if I go to the higher time frames, just like we did with the DXY, we're back above this low here. We're seeing a lot of momentum as well. So this to me looks like another reversal there for euro. And I'll be expecting a lot more upside. Next big target, I'll be looking at this area here. Pretty big drop there of supply. A lot of momentum came from that area. So back to 1.085, 1.09 is kind of where I'm expecting Euro USD to push towards. Longer term, I wouldn't be surprised if we make our way all the way back to the highs there, similar to the DXY, to USD. But of course, that's kind of the next major area. So yeah, very bullish in euro, just looking for pullbacks down and expecting a lot more upside. Pound USD likewise as well. Really nice push to the upside. It looks like it's just broken through some highs here on the left as well. It's left behind some really nice areas for a break and retest. So again, that would be a nice place for a buy there for pound. I was looking at a slightly bigger pullback this week. Unfortunately, didn't quite see that happen. And yeah, we shot to the moon here with pound as well. I was looking at this 1.25 area, really nice price support once, twice over there, resistance a couple times, once, twice over there as well. So I was looking to see if we can come back, test that area of confluence. We were came about 2/3 of the way down this week before pushing up, so missed the opportunity. But I do like this opportunity here. Breaking me tested the high. Haven't really had a retest there on the 4-hour chart around 1.27. Again, nothing too crazy. I think keep it relatively simple. If price pulls back from there, then naturally that would be a good target to have. We could go a lot further for pound. I wonder if this is going to be another major swing low prices forming, which could eventually go and tack the highs up there. But I think, again, that's a bit more of a speculation. None of us are really looking to target a trade all the way there in one move. Of course, it's good to know potentially where we could go long term, because you could use that to your advantage, hold trades a little bit longer, etc. But for now, I think just keeping it simple. There's a lot of momentum in the market. USD looks like it's going to continue to fall. So the likelihood is pound's going to continue to rise. But for now, I think this looks like a really nice opportunity on the 4-hour chart as well. In terms of dollar CAD, as I said, I'm currently short. This one hasn't been moving as great as euro, as pound USD, dollar CHF even. That's really had a big tank as well. So I'm still shorting this one from yesterday on that 4-hour kind of close. Price was looking very, very bullish at one point, almost took me out the trade. But price respected the high and came back down. Now I'm in a little bit of profit at the moment. Still looking to target the lows here. It's quite funny because, of course, DXY has been absolutely selling off a cliff right now. And I'm shorting USD, but USD CAD is barely budge. And like I said, it's because CAD has been so weak as well. So I'm kind of waiting for CAD to kind of lose or gain that strength a little bit, because it's been weak since last week, so it's quite stretched right now. So I'm kind of hoping dollar CAD will kind of give up on that weakness theme a little bit and gain some strength, and hopefully that will then kickstart my trade. But we'll see what happens. Still a long way to go, but yeah, looking for a push back into the low. Again, the analysis with dollar CAD is that we've come back into a really big level, major resistance once, twice. You can see massive, massive moves from this area. But back there again, we saw a nice kind of manipulation of that range previously. Big gap to the upside. We had a really aggressive move back down. And my plan for dollar CAD really is just looking for the continuation of that bearish impulse there. I'm looking at this as the pullback of the move. I'm calling this as the high. So I'm expecting price to come back into the low. I think we can go a lot further, but I'm being a bit more conservative with this trade, because even though, yes, we're at a big level, the trend is still very much against me. So I'm not going to be trying to be too optimistic with the trade. We'll see. But yeah, target's down there for sure. And we'll look to see if we can, as long as we can hold this area, 1.45, staying bearish and expecting a swing back to the lows. Aussie dollar, this one found a bit of support yesterday. Nice push to the upside. Still a little bit skeptical of this one. I do think, again, similar to USD CAD, will come back into major support. So the bigger move is probably still to the upside here, especially if DXY is going to keep falling, then you would expect Aussie dollar to rise as well. Of course, Aussie could be weak too, but I would expect USD to be weaker. But again, this is still a little bit corrective as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if Aussie dollar does come back down for another retest, possibly for a buy later on. So if you're still bullish on Aussie dollar, I think there might be an opportunity with this one if it were to come back down. I wouldn't hop into any buys just yet, but there's still major support underneath us here. And a push back down to that area would actually be a nice place for a long, especially if DXY is going to keep up that trend. But I'm still relatively bullish on this one. Just don't really have an opportunity to trade it really. Hasn't been as clean cut as some of the other USD pairs. This is still a nice level. So if we were to get back there, I would suggest some buys look good, of course, when we see some confirmations, wicks. And then we can look for a long. Likewise with New Zealand dollar as well. This one too, nice push to the upside, but still a little bit skeptical. We did have a really big sell-off last week, so kind of being a bit careful of that because we might still react to some of these areas and push down. Although I think the chances of that are probably a little bit more slim because DXY is just so bearish right now. But if DXY does have a little bit of a retrace, then we probably will see a bit of a reaction. Likewise with Aussie dollar, I do like the support down here. Again, will we get there? Not too sure. But I wouldn't be looking to buy the market right now as we do approach some resistance there. If anything, there might be some nice short-term sells on the lower time frames to take it back down, maybe back into some areas there. If I drop to the hourly chart, some nice broken support resistance here. Might get a nice reaction into that area. But I would keep it short and sweet there with New Zealand dollar. In terms of gold, yesterday I was talking about some buys for this one because we kind of got that V-shaped kind of correction, which was a very strong impulse down and a very strong impulse up. So kind of giving us V-shaped pattern, which normally does resemble more upside. So it's a reversal pattern. So I did suggest yesterday, wait for some pullbacks on the lower time frames and keep an eye on the retest of this area. Unfortunately, didn't quite see enough juice for us to get there for the retest. I should say get there yet, because I wouldn't be surprised if we do potentially have one more sell and then the buy. So I think keep an eye on that. That could happen maybe this afternoon or maybe tomorrow. But I still do like the buys here with gold, especially with USD being bearish as well. That fits into the idea that gold's likely to push up. And again, the price action on the 4-hour chart does signal that as well. So I do think with gold, we're likely to push back to highs now, which is 29.50 more or less, 29.60. I like this area on the lower time frames, clean area for a buy. And again, at least the push back to this high here makes a lot of sense, but I do expect us to go further. And if I take a look at silver as well, been looking to short this one, but I haven't really seen much rejection at the area I was looking to short from, which was this area here. Price was kind of having some minor rejection in the lower time frames, but nothing solid, nothing that triggered me into the position. And now price is actually breaking to the upside. Again, still not out of the woods yet. For silver, my reference point in terms of my bias, it's pretty straightforward actually. It's kind of based on this massive level of resistance on the daily chart. If price stays underneath this level and continues to reject it, I'm bearish. If price is breaking through and starts to hold as support, I'm bullish. Keeps it very, very simple. Overall, I'm bullish on silver. It is a bullish trending market. So I want to focus my efforts on buys. You can see overall been picking up the pace to the upside here. So I'm naturally bullish. However, if I do see a suitable rejection on this level, I would expect some decent opportunity to the downside, and I won't shy away from that. But if price is going to be making a way back above the level now, starts to hold it as support, there could be some really nice swing trades in the next few days, and that would interest me, and targets back at the high there. So I'm going to see what we do at this level right now, because we're not at the woods yet. Silver's looking pretty bullish, yes, but we are still in a very sticky place right now, and we could potentially this afternoon be rejecting that level, and this candle could close bearish for the day for all we know. So still want to see a break of that level before I do become fully bullish on the dollar, on silver. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the USD side of things. Still very bearish on USD, especially with the move yesterday and today and the day before as well. So that has really cemented me bearish for USD for a while now. So I'm going to be predominantly looking for opportunities that involve USD weakness. Where were we? What's up, CS Integrated? What is up? Nayuki, hope I'm saying that correctly. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. What's up, Darkashon? Welcome to the stream. Yep, I just went through dollar CAD. Hopefully you caught it. If not, let me know. Darkshon, humongous move in GJ. Yeah, very, very big move in GJ. I saw that. GJ, Euro Yen as well. CHF, JPY, big moves on the end pairs to the upside. I was bullish, but not expecting 300 to 350 pip move. Looking to take it back down today. Big liquidity left after yesterday. Okay, we'll take a look at that. Yeah, DXY is very, very bloody today. I'm doing good, Fenesto. Hope you're well. Thank you for asking. Hope you're doing good. Sultani, good morning. Hope you're doing good. What's up, Lighton? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Pound JPY is a dog. I'm doing good, my man. Hope you're well. What's up, Knox? Welcome to the stream. Pound CAD. Yes, we'll take a look as well. Okay, so I'll go through S&P and Euro Aussie and Aussie dollar as well from Hanshu, and then we'll go through a couple of the yen pairs, Euro Yen, Pound Yen, and we'll take a look at Pound CAD as well. Again, any requests, drop it down in the chat, and I'll take a look. But you asked if it's a good time to long Aussie dollar. I don't think. Well, again, it depends what you're looking at. I don't think it is because we've already seen a bit of a move to the upside. Now, price is coming back into some areas where we might find some sellers jumping into the market here. Buyers maybe looking to take some profit off the table. So I would argue against it looking to buy Aussie dollar right now. Yes, I'm actually still pretty bullish on Aussie dollar, and that comes from where we're trading and my bearish bias on USD. So naturally, I do expect the bigger move to be to the upside, back to highs, and so on and so forth. However, I don't think now's the best time to be looking to jump into the trade unless you're willing to have a bigger stop loss, because the only safe place I would have for a stop loss would either be underneath this low or underneath this low. This, of course, being the safest one, but it will mean you have a massive stop loss there. So you want price to come a lot closer to get that trade. Stop loss here is still pretty big as well, but you might still get a 1-to-1 into that high. So that's not the worst idea in the world. But yeah, I don't think it's the best time to be looking to enter with Aussie dollar. We could go higher, yes, but I think just of where we're coming into, this is where that drop came from. Now price is pushing into that level. Yeah, I would hold back from Aussie dollar. Yes, I'm bullish, but now's not the best time to be jumping into some longs. In terms of Euro Aussie and S&P, so Euro Aussie very, very bullish yesterday, absolutely flying to the upside. Looks like we're coming for a push into that wick there. I was looking at a retest of the resistance here at 1.7. It looks like we're actually breaking through that, and well, not breaking through it just yet, but we're smashing into that level right now, and I wasn't expecting that. Yesterday I was hinting at some retracement, possibly might see price come back, retest some levels around here, and take some buys back into the next level, but price just kept flying. So yeah, very, very bullish stuff for Euro Aussie. It's now back at a big level where we can find resistance and can see some downside. So if you are looking for some mean reversion trades, looking to short high, the price is fairly overextended. This is a good time to be looking to take some short opportunities, but of course being careful because right now momentum is still bullish, and for all we know, maybe price still wants to go higher. So we need to see some rejection, strong rejection in these areas to get that signal to short. But it is in a nice big level of resistance. You can see previously, last time we were here, massive move to the downside. We could at least anticipate to see a reaction, not necessarily another big move, although that could happen, but at least the reaction is definitely on the cards here. So keep an eye out for price action there. At the moment, there's nothing really to take away apart from the market still being very bullish. But maybe in the next day or two, we might see some sufficient rejection for a sell. And of course, if we do break through, then I'm expecting these wick highs to be taken out. But then after that, you might see a nice sell. So staying patient, but we are in areas where Euro Aussie could possibly start to take some breathers and invite some selling opportunities. In terms of S&P 500, that one's been pretty bearish over the past couple of days. Strong push to the downside. Haven't broke through the support level yet, so this is kind of like my last point of call for S&P, because again, overall, very, very bullish market. But what keeps us bullish is the fact that the market keeps printing higher low after higher low after higher low, and of course, higher high after higher high as well. If we start breaking the higher lows, that's an indication that the trend is shifting, and at least we're going to go for a bigger correction. Potentially something like this could be on the cards. We're probably due one, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a bit more of a candle trend form like that. And that is if we break through the support level, which we haven't done yet. So staying patient. At the moment, this is still a nice place for a buy. But my worry is, again, with all these indices showing failure at the highs as well, that does give me a little bit of, again, you don't want to have too much prejudgments coming into a trade, because at the end of the day, you don't know exactly which trade's going to fail, which trade's going to work. You want to kind of have an open mind with every trade. Of course, you want to still take a good trade, but know that even if you do take a good trade, it could still fail. I think it's still a great area for a buy as long as price respects the higher low. Technically, I'm still bullish, but judging what US 100's done, which we'll get to shortly, we might even see the break of that. At the moment, rejection isn't looking great as well, so I would wait to see a strong bullish engulfing candle in the 4 hour, something like that, to indicate some upside. If price just keeps moving sideways like this, I would definitely stay away, especially if we get a candle breaking through the low like that. So if you can see some momentum here for the buyers step into the market, then yeah, there could be a nice buy. So far, we're holding on to support, which is great, but need to see that momentum really step in to indicate that, okay, now we're going to see a bit of a run. If we just kind of move sideways, then we probably will just go and break through the support level. And if we get a strong close on the daily chart, then yeah, I'll be looking at more downside, a bit of a correction, and another drop as well. So keep a close eye on that level. If you can see some more momentum, I think there could be a nice buy, perhaps this afternoon. Okay, so let's go take a look at Euro Yen and pound yen. So yeah, Euro yen held support very well yesterday. Really strong reaction on the daily candles. So yesterday's candle there, as we can see, really strong reaction off that support level. So I'm still very bearish on Euro yen, still looking for the short, still expecting this level to break. That's still my expectation. However, based on support and price respecting, probably will get a bit of a move to the upside, but that's actually something I want to see, because yesterday I was speaking on this a couple times. I said the two opportunities I can see for Euro yen and pound yen and a few other yen pairs, which we'll get through. If I am going to get a short, I can't be looking to short directly into support. That's obviously a no. But if price does push away and perhaps puts another lower high in, that's where I want to find my entries, because number one, I can short it back into the level. Number two, I can probably hold some positions to anticipate a breakout if things are looking good. We put a major high over here, had a big drop, price pull back, another major high, another drop. Perhaps we're going to do the same thing here as well, and perhaps catch that lower high for another big sell. So this is actually what I'm looking for Euro yen. And if we can see price push into that area, reject, I'm definitely going to be looking for a big swing back down again, and Euro yen to come back into lows. So if I drop to the 4 hour chart, what I want to see for Euro yen is a lot more upside now, and then hopefully some rejection there, and then a big sell back down. So that is what I'm looking at for Euro yen right now. I'm still, like I said, bearish, still looking at that massive head and shoulder pattern on the daily chart. You got a lovely left shoulder over there. You got your head, you got your right shoulder. This is, of course, your neckline. Still expecting that to break to the downside, but just staying patient right now. At the moment, really strong rejection of support. If anything, there could be some nice shorter term buys on the intraday charts. So, for example, a pullback like this could be a nice little buy there. We drop to the hourly chart, something like this, a correction, just basically looking to follow that momentum, correction, continuation. That could be a nice buy for a day or two. But the bigger move for me still looks to be to the downside. So still waiting to see what we can do up at those areas and hopefully take some shorts back down. And that's the trade I'm after. But on the shorter term time frames, I think the buys look good. Same with pound yen as well. I think the buys look pretty good there too. Actually, no, not quite. I thought price broke through the highs, but we didn't. It was only euro yen that we did. I would wait for price to break through the highs here first before buying pound yen. I thought we were above them, but it was just euro yen. So yeah, if pound yen can break through the highs, then yes, the buys will look good there too. Of course, don't want to be buying with all that rejection there. Lovely momentum yesterday, and of course on the daily candle, solid close to the upside as well. And of course, same situation kind of with euro yen prices respecting really key support there. So I do expect to see more upside there for pound yen. But again, I'm looking at the same move really. Lovely high over there. Once big drop, second high, big drop. Looking at third high, another big drop, and hopefully that will be the one that sends us to the downside. So again, same kind of idea there, but have to stay patient and not try and force anything right now. But that is the idea. That is what I'm looking to do. But for now, we could see some upside on the way up there. So I do like the upsides opportunities on the lower charts for pound yen. But again, let's break through resistance. Let's see if we can take up some structure to the left as well. And that could provide some nice longs to take it back up again. But yeah, as soon as we start coming to some of these areas, I'm looking at a big sell. So 196, 197. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with euro yen and pound yen. Again, the bias is still very bearish for all these yen pairs. Really, there's no major break of structure. Yes, we're bouncing off support pretty aggressively, but nothing has really changed in terms of the market structure, which is the key thing I'm focusing on. So yeah, where was I? Dark Short, good entry now, 191,200. Things look good. Let's start to pick up pace, targeting at least 150 pips, and we'll drag subsequently. Okay. What's up, Pharaoh Garms? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. What's up, Henry? Hopped onto Aussie Chef Short at 0.55668 and targeting. Okay, I'll take a look at that as well for you. Yeah, we've seen a lot of movement lately. USD, CAD wise, a lot of news has been affecting those currencies a lot. And yeah, I mean, I like momentum. So, things moving the market is normally a good thing. Of course, you want it to be in your direction, but at the end of the day, if the market's moving, that means there's opportunities in either direction, really. I'd rather a bit of chaos than just a stale market and nothing's happening. Okay, so I'll go through pound CAD next for Knox. Okay, pound CAD entered the long at 1.85188. Okay, we'll have a look at that. So yeah, pound CAD has been very, very bullish. We've been absolutely flying to the upside. Of course, like I said, CAD's been very, very weak. So pound CAD's been up, Euro CAD's been flying. Not so much Aussie CAD and New Zealand CAD because yeah, because Aussie and New Zealand have been a bit weak, yeah. So they haven't flown so much. But pound CAD sure has. If we go to the daily chart, look at this one. Massive breakout of resistance this week, and things are looking interesting. The only thing with pound CAD is that we are coming to some areas on the left, which I'd watch out for. So if I mark this on the chart over here at 1.839, I'll be a bit careful of that area. It looks like we're trying to break through, but I wouldn't say we're out the woods yet. And if price does, of course, start to show some rejection in the daily chart, we could see a lot of downside. So I would be careful of that high there on the left for pound CAD. But yeah, looking at the current price action, things are definitely very, very bullish. You said you got a long at 1.85118. 1.85118. No, 188, sorry. So that's around here-ish. What time frame you trading on? Okay, it's more or less in that area. Um, Take profit 1.9. Okay, looking at a very big move. Very big move indeed. 1.9 all the way up there. Looking at a more or less 480 pip move. Actually, just shy of 500 pips. So it's still a very big move. So you're looking for a lot of upside here. Um, Wait, so you're buying this on the 1 minute time frame and you're looking for 500 pips. That is that's insane. 500 pip move based on the 1 minute chart is a very big very big move, Knox. Not many people would be targeting that amount of pips on the 1 minute time frame just because of so much things can happen in the 1 minute. Was that 1 minute, 1 month? I might be yeah, 1 month. Okay, my bad. I was gonna say. Okay, 1 month makes a bit more sense. One minute was a bit crazy. Um, okay, so let me drop to the monthly chart. Okay, so where's your stop loss for the move? Where's your stop loss? Because that will kind of give me a bit more information because basically you're anticipating a bit of a breakout here. You're looking for price to clear resistance here, breakout. I suppose next area you're targeting would be this area here on the left. Big psychological level, and of course, brief area of resistance to give us a pretty big sell. And if we were to break through that area, then that would naturally be the next level I would expect price to get to. So if we do get the breakout on the monthly chart, I would imagine price has a good chance of pushing to your level there at 1.9. But of course, the stop loss will be pretty important for that as well. Um, I mean, the whole idea is that if you're catching a breakout, you're expecting momentum to continue. So I would suggest a stop loss probably just below um, resistance here, support here would make a lot of sense because you've got number one, a really big level in your favor. And if price can respect that, then your trade is still pretty much valid. If your stop loss is a little bit above this, then you do run the risk of that retracement happening and you getting triggered out a little bit early. So I do like the idea. The break opportunity is there. If you're anticipating momentum to continue, there's a lot of momentum in the market right now. So it's a nice idea. But yeah, in terms of the stop loss, which of course will make what makes or breaks the trade, I would be looking it to be below this level. I'm always looking for a break and retest rather than trying to catch the breakout. So I would be looking at something like this to happen first, to find entries and then put a stop loss below. That way I can minimize my risk and at the same time still take advantage of the same move. Of course, the downside about waiting for pullbacks and retests is that they don't always happen. Sometimes you just see the breakout and price will just continue and you'll miss the move. So that's obviously a downside of waiting for the pullbacks. But I just like it because I can refine my stop loss a little bit better and it does help with the risk reward as well. And it gives me a bit more confidence with the trade because I know price is respecting support as well. But yeah, where's your stop loss at? Because yeah, I mean it could be below here as well. That gives you some protection, but you're really banking on momentum continuing, which again is not a bad idea. It's just it can be a little bit choppy sometimes. Um, yeah, but I wouldn't have a stop loss anything beyond this point. Any beyond that, then you're asking for trouble, especially with such a big target as well. I think here gives you a bit of safety. You kind of banking on momentum still intact, still pushing through your direction. Anything above that doesn't give you a lot of room to work with. Okay, I'll go through Aussie Chef for Henry. Okay, we'll take a look. Sultani, mini spub. And you also take a look at stocks. I don't normally, but I can do. If you want me to take a look at something, let me know. I don't trade stocks, never have done. So there's that. But of course, technical analysis can be used anywhere. So I can have a look if you want me to. Stop loss 1.81480. 1.81. Okay, so stop loss is around here somewhere. So I suppose just above the high there, which, yeah, gives you a lot of room to breathe. I don't mind that, to be honest. I would have it a little bit lower just to consider these swing points here as well. But if we were to come back that low in the first place, that could be a nice breaking retest entry there as well. Anyway, but yeah, at least you give yourself a bit of room to breathe there as well, because there's a lot of momentum right now. But again, you don't normally see those moves last for long. You can see how pound CAD moves. Although things look very bullish at the time, we do tend to correct ourselves quite a lot. So you need to be a bit careful of that and give yourself some room. Of course, sometimes it will have those lovely breakouts too. And that's kind of what you're banking on. You're banking on momentum. So, yeah, not a bad position. I'm always waiting for the break and retest. But if momentum continues, then yeah, we could see a big move there. Okay, so let me go through Aussie CHF. So Aussie CHF, I still do have a small position open for this one. I've taken most of my profits already. But you can see we're having a little bit of tough time trying to break through the low here. So things are a little bit awkward. I have got my stop loss trail just above the high here. So I'm giving myself a bit of room to work with. The idea is that I'm kind of just letting price do its thing. Of course, I don't want to give price the full room to maneuver and potentially get stopped out. Rest of my position get stopped out break even. But at the same time, I want price to keep its momentum going. But as you can see on the daily chart, we have had a bit of an ugly wick here. Yesterday's candle, if I move this, you can see a bit better. Yesterday's candle, we've got the support there, price pierced through, and by the end of the day, we pulled all the way back and closed above support. So not a great sign there for the bears. We still very much could break through. Momentum still with the bears, so we might bounce and then just see price, a few days later on break through. But at the same time, that's not really what you want to see at swing lows, especially if you're expecting breakouts. So, yeah, you said you're looking to short Aussie CHF. You hopped into a short at 0.55668. Let's see. 0.55668. So that's around about here. Oh, wrong tool. And targeting 0.55131. Okay, so more or less the lows. So I like the idea because you're looking for basically a breaking retest of the low there. But what I don't like about the idea is how we've pulled back, number one, and how the daily candles closed, number two. If the daily candle actually closed and fulfilled that wick there and closed bearish, then the breaking retest has a higher probability of playing out. The fact that we've left behind a really big wick there means that we're failing to break through this level. And yes, potentially the next candle could go and get the breakout for you. Again, everything is probability. Nothing's for certain, but there are some red flags with this opportunity. Number one, the big wick there on the daily chart, on the daily time frame, we're failing to break below. If we had the close, it'll be a lot. The opportunity would have a higher chance of playing out. And on the 4-hour chart as well, we've had a really big impulsive retracement there. It's not like price kind of slowly pushed to the upside. It was very aggressive. So for those two reasons, I don't like the breaking retest opportunity right now. Number one, it's a good level, so I'm not knocking that. That's a really nice level to be looking for a retest from. Massive support did give us a pretty big move to the upside. And we've had a pretty clean break of the level as well. So it's a nice place to find that retest. and the market is bearish on pretty much all the higher time frames as well. So you do have um, that natural expectation for more downside. But judging on how we've wicked through, judging on how we retrace, for those two reasons, I probably wouldn't take the trade myself, and I would wait to see how price develops. So I like the idea. I'm expecting more downside for Aussie CHF myself too, but that rejection there isn't particularly great. 50-minute time frame, yeah. I mean, if it's still the same idea though. It's still the same idea. Even on the 50-minute time frame, we've had a really impulsive rejection. If you're targeting the lows down here, you're looking for price to basically go fill the wick on the daily chart, which is asking for a lot, especially when we're failing to break through support. So again, I'm not saying it won't happen because it could happen, but I would expect the trade to, if we had the daily candle close below, the trade would have a much higher chance of playing out versus when we've had an impulsive move, prices failing to break support on the daily chart. I know you're trading the 15, but price action encompasses everything. The daily chart still affects the 15. The 15 still affects the daily. It still has importance. Just because you're in the lower time frames doesn't mean you should ignore the daily chart. The daily chart can provide a lot of information to help with your trades. So, yeah, for that reason, I would avoid that position because of the big wick. Yeah, that would put me off the trade, and because we retrace very aggressively as well. So yeah, I wouldn't take that position, but I like the levels. So nice breaking retest. It's just that daily confluence isn't particularly great. Maybe if you had a shorter target, so if you weren't looking to swing it all the way down to the lows here, maybe if you had like a target back down to support here, I'll like the trade more because you're just going to be in and out quickly, so you're not too concerned about the bigger move. Of course, I know that will skew things in terms of your stop loss, but as just looking to swing it all the way there, I think it's asking a lot from the market. And again, I'm still holding positions to run. I'm expecting a lot more downside for Aussie CHF as well myself. But because of the way we've reacted to that level, I'm kind of looking to see potentially you might kind of consolidate or pull back a little bit deeper before selling off. So I'm kind of keeping an eye on that. So yeah, for that reason, that's what will put me off the trade a little bit. Okay, so next I'm going to take a look at NAS, and then I will go through the yen pairs entirely because still haven't gone through dollar yen yet, and looked at the yen basket, so I'll go through those markets as well. But I'll look at NAS for Soltani. No problem, Henry. Hadn't paid attention to the daily wick. No problem. Again, especially when you're trading the lower time frames, it's very, very important to keep an eye on the higher time frames because sometimes when you focus on the 15 5-minute chart, you kind of get lost in the source a little bit. But the more information you have, essentially, the better, because it allows you to pick trades with more confidence, which of course is going to help your win rate in the long term. So yeah, don't forget about the daily chart. Very, very important chart, especially when you're zoomed in onto the 15-minute chart. Looking at the daily can just provide an extra layer of confluence. For example, if we did see that candle close below, that'll give you a bit more confidence to short because you know that from a daily perspective, we're breaking through as well. But seeing that wick there on the daily chart is a bit of a red flag to the position. Okay, so I'll jump over to the yen pairs. So I'll go through dollar yen. We had a look at euro yen and pound yen, but I'm going to go through dollar yen, CAD yen, take a look at some other yen pairs as well. So dollar yen, I'm still expecting a big push to the downside. Of course, USD JPY hasn't really seen much of a move to the upside. We did see a slight push there, but of course, compared to like euro yen or pound yen, barely made a dent. Of course, euro yen, really big push to the upside, pound, big push. And of course, that's because USD was so weak yesterday. We haven't really seen much of a move, but I'm still expecting to see a push back down to these lows here. which is just above 140, more or less 140. Looking for that move to happen. And of course, I'm looking for this support level to break. So that's still very much the plan, my expectation with dollar yen. In terms of trading opportunities, I like the fact that we got finally a close below the wick here, which signifies that we've had a breakout. Not the biggest break, not the biggest close ever. It's just kind of close below and push back above. Again, a break of structure technically is just price breaking for a low. But then within that, you can get some really good break of structures, and then you can get some really average break of structures. This is your more average. If we were to get price really pushed down and see a strong close on the daily chart as well, that would give you a nice indication that structure is well and truly broken, and the likeliness of continuing to the downside is a lot higher versus kind of a wick there in the daily chart. So the daily still kind of respecting the low. So that gives less significance to the 4-hour chart closing below. But besides from that, I'm still expecting downside. It's just not as confirmed as it could be yet. I'm still keeping a close eye on this bearish trend here on the 4-hour chart. This is essentially what I was looking to short this week. I was looking for another lower high to test the trend line. I pointed out this area here as well. Didn't quite see that yesterday. We kind of sold off earlier than expected. I still do like the area should we get back there again, and that might be a nice trade. I think what would be a really nice trade is if price can break through support, and potentially we can use that as resistance at some point. That could be a nice trade as well. Perhaps that lines up with the trend line as well, which would be a very nice trade indeed. But that might take a few days to develop. But in terms of dollar yen, the bigger move for me still looks likely to the to the downside. If price was going to have a bullish continuation, I would expect us to see a lot more upside by now. We just haven't seen that. So the likeliness of dollar yen still falling is pretty high, especially with DXY looking as weak as it is right now. I'm expecting DXY to keep falling, possibly back down to 100. So if that's the case, then there's a good chance dollar yen does keep falling. So only looking for shorts. I know at support right now, so probably looking to buy the pair, but I'm not really interested in the longs. I do expect that support to break one way or another, whether we bounce and push up first or we just break straight away. We'll wait and see. But these are the opportunities I am interested in for dollar yen. Shorts around 150, shorts around, what is that, 149. So keeping a close eye on that. In terms of CAD yen, so I like this to the downside as well. Of course, CAD yen had a bit of a reaction because we did see some weakness for the yen. But of course, CAD being so weak as it is, barely budged it. Again, for CAD yen on the higher time frames, we're still seeing a relatively clean head and shoulder pattern. You got your left over there, you got your head over there, you got your right shoulder, and of course, that being your neckline. I'm expecting all of that to break and a lot more downside to come in the next few days as well. This is the wick low I've been targeting. I'm actually expecting price to head back here, but that's a story for another day. For now, I'm just looking for price to give me some type of correction here and short it. What would be nice would be a retest of that low there, potentially catch the next lower high, something like this, and catch it like that. That would be a really nice trade. And then, of course, hopefully swing it back to the low and maybe further as well. But yeah, CAD Yen still printing successive lower highs and lower lows, so nothing's really changed with this one. Just still looking for that pullback. And yeah, I haven't really had much to say with CAD Yen for a while. Nice move, just need to see a good pullback of it so I can keep shorting it. And that's what I'm looking at from a swing perspective. And of course, these wick lows I'm expecting to go. If you're on the lower time frames, then you're probably still looking at shorts here as we continue with the lower highs, but I'll wait to see if we can have another push to the upside, perhaps back into resistance supply up there before looking for a short, just because this pullback has been very impulsive. Impulse down, consolidation, impulse back up. I would be a bit cautious shorting that directly. If you can see a push back to this area, there's a good chance for a reaction, at least probably back into this area, and that could be a nice trade for an intraday point of view. Maybe tomorrow sometime. So I'd keep an eye on that if you're intraday. But if you're looking for a bigger swing, trying to catch the bigger move for CAD Yen, then this is kind of where I'm looking at. And let's see if CAD Yen can actually get there. In terms of Aussie yen and New Zealand yen, again, these guys a bit of reactions as well. Did Aussie yen? No, Aussie yen's still far away. I think New Zealand yen's close. So Aussie yen again, still looking for us to take out that wick low there. Again, the plan for Aussie yen still the same, looking for some upside, another lower high, and then the short. That's really the trade I'm looking at. If I drop to the 4-hour chart, we've got a lovely trendline confluence connecting the highs. We've got a lovely support level here as well, which will be turn resistance. And if price can reject that well, wicks, bearish engulfing candles, that'll give me the confirmations I need to short it at least back to where we came from, which would be a push back into the low here at 92. But as I said, the bigger move, I do still see us taking us a lot further down to take out those wicks there as well. So again, looking at that bigger move, if I drop to the hourly chart, again, I'm not a fan of how price has had its pullbacks, very impulsive. You can see previously all the pullbacks on the hourly chart have been relatively smooth, corrective, they've taken their time. Now suddenly we're very impulsive as well. So it's a sign that from an hourly chart point of view that we probably are going to get ready to see something like this happen in the next few hours, maybe next day or two. So the pullback to that area, I think, is looking more and more likely. So just staying patient, and if we can get there, great. We'll look for my confirmations and hopefully find an entry to take price back down. New Zealand yen is in a similar position as well. Have we taken out the wick low? Oh, haven't quite done that yet, but I'm expecting us to do that. We probably missed it by a few pips there, as we can see. But I do think the likeliness of us taking out that wick low is very, very high. So if New Zealand yen was to push to the upside, the probability of us putting another lower high and to come back down to go and take out the wick is a very high probability move, and that would be a really nice trade to get into and swing it back down. So just like Aussie yen, looking at a very similar setup. I like the breaking test here. If I could see just a bit more upside here for New Zealand yen, nothing crazy, back into 85.5. Hopefully get some entries, take it back into the wick low there, and go and take out these lows here as well. So I really like Aussie yen. I really like New Zealand yen. At the moment, those are my two favorite yen pairs right now. Pound yen, euro yen. I kind of want to see a bit more upside before I look to short them, but these guys, just a bit more upside, and I'm ready to be looking for entries really, and taking it back down to these wick lows on the daily chart. Swiss yen, this one had a bit of a move to the upside too. Very strong push, kind of broke out of this consolidation yesterday. So things have been looking pretty bullish there for Swiss yen. Again, I wouldn't mind to see a big pullback for this one. I'm looking at these major lower highs on the daily chart. 1, 2, perhaps we're forming a third one. That would be a nice trade to take there from a swing perspective. We're still more or less trading at some key support here. And it looks like price is having a really tough time trying to break through. So a lot more upside. I wouldn't mind that, because if I can catch a trade like that, it could be a really nice move. But again, long term, I'm expecting price to break through that floor and have a move down. It looks like this bullish trend's kind of met its end, and now we're forming a really nice head and shoulder to possibly top out this trend here. So the break of that level will kind of signify that, okay, the trend's hit a top and we're really reversing here. So I do expect this level to break. It's just we might be pushing to the upside first. Likewise with euro yen, we've got a big head and shoulder pattern there as well. And again, price is respecting that neckline or support. So again, we might push up a little bit first, form another lower high, and then get the drop. And that's kind of what I'm looking at for both of those pairs. But for now, not ready to short. So just staying put and just keeping one eye on the market. In terms of the yen basket, if I have a quick look. So again, JPY basket, really aggressive reaction. As we can see there yesterday, I'm still expecting a lot more upside back into that area there, which is the high, but more so I'm expecting us to actually take out the wick high there. So I do expect to see a lot more upside off the back of that. Again, zooming out, there is a nice trend line here connecting the dots. So we've got a first test over there, formed a high, another higher low, another higher high, so on and so forth. Again, looking to see if we can pull back, form that higher low, and perhaps get that swing to the upside to take out the highs there again. So that is another opportunity I'm keeping a close eye on. Well, not necessarily an opportunity, but a market keeping a close eye on, because The yen basket, of course, will have a big indication of what the other yen pairs will do. If the yen basket is going to hold support, put another higher low in, and there's a good chance that the other yen pairs are going to put a lower high in and push down. So if this situation can occur, that means I probably will get a nice trade with New Zealand yen, Aussie yen, and maybe dollar yen as well. But we'll see. But yeah, the yen basket is still pointing up, and 7,200, 7,400 really is kind of where I'm expecting price to make a move to. So very, very bullish on the yen pairs for now. Okay, BTC, I will have a look at their LFTJ, no problem. Euro USD, VUSI, no problem. Target 1.08999. Okay, we'll have a look at that as well. Himanshu is a good place to short pound Aussie. Okay, I'll go through those pairs as well. Again, any requests, guys, just drop it down in the chat and we'll take a look. And of course, if you want me to take a look at a specific time frame, let me know as well. But yeah, Bitcoin is a bit all over the place. Bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish. What's Bitcoin trying to do? I remember when we had that bullish move at the start of the week, I talked about this area here as a very important area in the market because we did consolidate there for a few days before having a really big move to the downside. So I did suggest watch out for that area because even though we were looking very bullish at the time, that this is where all that selling pressure came from. So the fact that we haven't broken through that area is still what keeps me relatively bearish on Bitcoin. And we did see a big reaction. However, price has respected support pretty well, and we're trying to push to the upside again. So I'm not really bullish on Bitcoin just yet. I would be waiting for a push back down to this area before looking for a buy, which is more or less around 72, 73K. That's really where I want to see Bitcoin move towards before calling any bottoms. Right now, there's still a lot of resistance above us, still a lot of supply above us. So I would be very careful about about buying Bitcoin. And potentially, if we do push back into area like this and see another rejection, I actually think that's a good short to take, actually. If price was to break through, so break through all of this mess like such and take out this high on the left, then I would be very bullish on Bitcoin. And then I'll be looking for a push back to the all-time highs and so on and so forth. And what could be nice would be a nice correction, perhaps a higher low, something like that. And then the longs would look good. And that could be a nice trade sometime in the near future. So that's the only way I would look to buy Bitcoin unless we do come back down to, like I said, 73, 72K, back down at that support level, which I go to the daily chart, is of course this high over there. So that has always been the plan with Bitcoin since we did get the breakout last week, looking for a lot more downside back into that level. That was the plan for Bitcoin, but of course, looks like we're finding support around 80K and not quite making enough movement to get there. So if we do push up again, I'll keep an eye on the sells. I think that's still a nice place for a short. If we do break through, then I'll switch my bias to bullish, as in break through the high there. Switch the bias to bullish, look for some pullbacks, and onwards to 108K and probably new all-time highs past that point as well. So always keeping a close eye on the reference points here. But if we do continue to break through, then yes, I will switch the bias to bullish. But for now, still very bearish. So I'll keep an eye on 94K for a sell. And that would be an area to take price back down again. But yeah, Bitcoin is still looking very interesting. I will probably go take a look at Ethereum as well. Since we're on the topic, then I'll go through Euro USD and Pound Aussie. Gideon, how to get credentials? Just bought a challenge. You should have your credentials in the account page once you log into your account. If you look to the left-hand side of your once you've logged on, look to the left-hand side of your page, you'll see accounts. Click on that, and you'll see your credentials for your challenge. But if you do have any issues, contact the support. You can go onto the support page on the website, drop an email, or you can raise a ticket on the Discord if you have any issues. Okay, so let me take a look at Ethereum quickly, then I'll go through Euro and pound Aussie. So yeah, Ethereum still just hanging on to support for dear life right now. Still hanging on to support for dear life. So I am still, again, looking for a bounce here. If I go to the weekly chart, I think we'll have a better view of that. If I go to the weekly chart here, so as you can see, we do have some nice confluence in this area, which is why I do like the bounce here for Ethereum. You know, we've got successive higher lows once, twice, a third time, and potentially a fourth. Solid support last time we were here. Really big move to the upside. Now we're there again. So there's some confluence here for the buyers. And if price can respect this, there is that potential move to the upside. If we break through, then things get really ugly there for Ethereum. But yeah, right now, just about holding on. I like the wick yesterday. We kind of pierced through but pull back above. If we can see another strong close, I actually think that's a good buy signal for Ethereum. Again, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Don't necessarily have to look for a swing all the way there. I mean, depends what your intentions are with Ethereum. If you're looking for a place to buy and hold and sit on Ethereum, I think it's not a bad place to do that. Number one, it's a nice area of confidence. Number two, the return on investment looks pretty good as well. You know, price is at 22, around 2,200 right now. If we were to push back to all-time highs from there, that's just shy of 5K. Let's say 5K. You're looking at doubling your money there. So it's a nice place for a buy in terms of investment. But if you're looking for a trade, it's a nice place for a trade as well. Nice place to put your stop loss. And I would kind of keep an eye on a few areas for targets, especially this consolidation there. That's where a lot of momentum came from, and we haven't came back for a retest. So we might see a nice reaction, and price could come straight back down again. So that could be a nice place to book some profits. It more or less lines up with some support and resistance in this area here as well. As we can see, a really key level of resistance and support there too. So around 2,800, I'd watch out. But break through that, then maybe we do see a big swing. But still a nice place for a buy, nice confluence there. So I actually do like Ethereum to the upside. Let me go take a look at Euro USD. Then I'll go through pound Aussie. So yeah, Euro USD very, very bullish for this one. Really big move to the upside. So I'm very bullish on Euro. I'm very bearish on the DXY. So expecting a lot more upside. You said you got a target to 1.089 that's what your target is. 1.0899. So you're looking at basically 1.09. So basically up at the high here, which is this area. And that's more or less where I'm looking to target as well for Euro. Again, we've had a really nice kind of reversal here in the market. Looks like we kind of formed a nice bowl shape pattern here. We've gone from making lower lows to kind of equal lows, now higher lows. Again, these bowl shape patterns have a really high win rate, really. They don't happen frequently. So when they do happen, do keep note of them because their success rate, from my experience, is actually pretty high, especially when they do form really properly and really slowly. The chance of us breaking to the upside are actually pretty high, and we had a really nice pattern here form. So yeah, as we're back above the high here, I think we're also rejecting some big levels on the, if I go to the monthly chart, actually we're rejecting some really big levels. So could see a lot of upside here for Euro USD. As you can see, major support there, big bounce. Now we're holding it again, but yeah, in terms of the lower charts, I do think more upside. If I actually go to the daily chart, you can see this is where a lot of supply came from. Big push to the downside. So to me, it looks like price is probably going to be drawn towards that area, and pullbacks would look very, very nice indeed for Euro. I've marked out a couple of areas. Number one, I really like the resistance here. Really powerful resistance, big breakthrough. The chance of us holding that support level is pretty high, and it would be a nice place for a buy, especially if you're looking to swing Euro. Like I said, targets up there. If you can find some entries in this area, then you should be looking at a pretty big risk reward. Hypothetical entry and stop loss, but let's say you look something like that. Looking at a very big, 1 to 5, 1 to 6, potentially back to that level there. So that would be a nice opportunity. But if there's just a lot of momentum in the market and we don't see a pullback that big, Something a bit more intraday to keep an eye out on is this brief pause there in the market. If I drop to the hourly, you can see we had a slight dip before price continued. That might be the best that Euro gives us. So if you're intraday 30, 15-minute chart, that might be an area you want to keep a close eye on, because if Euro doesn't have that bigger pullback into that 1.052 level, I would expect this area to hold and send us to the upside. So if you're intraday, I'll keep an eye on that consolidation around 1.06200. But nonetheless, expecting more upside. If I quickly take a look at the DXY, you can see the dollar has fallen flat in its face as well. It's breaking through some lows here too, very aggressively. So again, for the dollar, I'm looking for a similar level back there as well. In fact, long term, I'm actually looking for the DXY to push all the way back to 100. So in my book, dollar is very, very bearish right now. So yeah, just looking at pullbacks and some more shorts, and that would mean a lot more upside for Euro. In terms of pound Aussie, Himanshu, you asked about shorting pound Aussie. Again, we talked about Euro Aussie not too long ago. It's kind of in a similar situation where, you know, the market's very stretched. We're likely to see a retracement at some point. And if you're looking to take advantage of that retracement, you need to wait for the correct confirmations, or good confirmations at least, because the market is still very bullish. And for all we know, we could easily see another day or two of strength. And that could be enough to knock out the trade a couple of times. So have to be a bit careful of that. But yes, we're coming to major resistance right now with pound Aussie. This is the weekly chart, by the way. Really big level. I think this is from COVID, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, March 2020. That is COVID. 5 years ago now. Crazy, crazy. And now we're back at major resistance. So generally speaking, in this area here somewhere, I do expect a bit of a top to form and us to see some downside. How big? Yeah, that's up to pound Aussie, but trying to take advantage of retracement makes sense. If I drop to the 4-hour charts right now, it does look like things are slowing down. Strong move down the 4-hour chart. It's just tricky because we haven't been in this area for a while. There's still room to the upside if price wants to keep pushing. You know, if I draw the highs around there. There we go. Use the wrong arrow. If you draw the highs around there, you can still see there's a bit more room to the upside. So yeah, I think the shorts are just a little bit aggressive. I'll probably wait for a bit more confirmation there. What would be nice is a bit of a double top. Let's say if price forms resistance here, we see a bit of move to the downside. We come back up and respect the high. That then would be a nice place for a short, because at least price has now shown confirmation at that level that, okay, this is a top we're failing to break through. Perhaps now is the time to see some retracement. So yeah, I would say it's a bit aggressive now to get into the buys. Sure, it does look like price is stalling. I'll keep an eye on the high here on the left as well. I think that could be a nice first target to have, 2.02, just because there's a lot of momentum in the market, which is of course against you. Waiting for some kind of extra confirmations or extra confidence before shorting could be a smart idea, especially when the market is this bullish. But yeah, I do expect pound Aussie to retrace. Likewise with Euro Aussie as well. They're all just a bit extended. I appreciate that, Philip. Appreciate it. If you guys are enjoying the stream, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It does really help out the channel, and of course, it helps the stream out as well. So if you are enjoying the content, finding it useful, informative, educational, please be sure to show some love, drop a like, and subscribe to the channel, and of course hit the bell too, so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. But appreciate that message, Philip. Colin, Euro Pound. Yes, I will take a look at Euro Pound for you, no problem. Oh, before I destroy my mic there. So Euro Pound, I haven't actually been keeping an eye on this one. It's not really a pair on my watch list, so I'm not really monitoring it outside of the stream. Whoa, I did not see that happen at all. Damn, that is a huge move. Last time I had a look at Euro Pound, we were more or less around here. And I was on the stream yesterday. But yeah, of course, euro being a lot stronger than pound has definitely caused this move here. And yeah, that's a pretty big move. So I'll be a bit careful now. I'm a bit on the fence now with euro pound because I'm still expecting a push back to the swing low here. Because if I zoom out, looking at the overall trend, what the market has been doing, we've been very, very consistent with the lower highs for a while. You know, looking back to the high over there, even the high over there as well. But you can see since then, we've been forming major lower high after major lower high. And recently, looks like we formed another one. So I was expecting price just to kind of slowly make its way back into support. And then we'll go from there. Maybe we bounce from there. Maybe we break through. You know, we'll wait and see. But of course, with this move means that we've just about formed a higher low above that level. Do I expect price to suddenly now continue to the upside? No, not really. It's a strong move, yes, but it hasn't really done anything on a major scale. We've broken some 4-hour structure here on the left, but that doesn't really indicate much of a reversal. It might mean a bit more upsides, but I wouldn't be surprised if we just go roll over soon afterwards. So with that kind of momentum, I do think there could be some nice buys for euro pound now on this area. The prior high gave us a strong move down. This, of course, will be turned into support, but I wouldn't be trying to take the trade too far. Something like that would look good. Um, if you can be a bit more correct for the retracement, that would be nice too. Kind of slowly push down, coming back into that prior high. I think that would be a nice place for a buy and targets back to where we came from. But yeah, euro pounds, I'm still pretty bearish on the high time frame, so predominantly still looking to short, at least from um, a swing standpoint. Intraday, a lot of momentum yesterday, of course, breaking structure as well. So that does give me a bit of a bullish bias on the lower time frames. I just wouldn't look to try and take it too far based on what the high time frames are doing. So I'd watch out for that. But yeah, crazy move there yesterday for euro pound. Very, very bullish. I do think some continuations on the low time frames should look good. Ivan, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Hope you're doing good, my man. Thoughts on dollar CHF? Yep, huge move to the downside. Dumped to 0.878. Okay, let's have a look. See. Dollar Swiss. So yeah, dollar CHF has been very bearish. Definitely been a better sell out of the USD pairs because I'm shorting dollar CAD at the moment, and that has barely budged. I shorted this one yesterday and only in a little bit of profit, which is funny because if you look at the DXY, this has had a huge sell-off, but my trades barely moved, of course, because of CAD being weak as well. But in fairness, I did have an opportunity which I was looking at for dollar CHF, so it was on the watch list for me. It was a trade I was looking to take, but it just missed my area of confluence this week, so I didn't take the trade. Yeah, but I was looking for price to come a little bit higher into this area before shorting, but as you can see, we just missed that. So I didn't get the trade for dollar CHF, and yeah, it's been a nice move. But again, looking at dollar CHF as a whole, I mean, just focusing on the USD side of things, I'm expecting USD to keep falling. DXY, I'm expecting DXY to keep falling. So my bias on the dollar itself is bearish for quite a while now. I'm actually looking for the DXY to get to 100, which is all the way down here, because I'm looking at this as a big fake out now. So I'm just expecting more, basically a bit of a bearish trend to form over the next few days, few weeks. So that keeps me bearish on USD. So pairs like dollar CHF, I'm naturally expecting more downside as well. And of course, looking at what price is doing, it actually makes sense to expect something like that for dollar CHF, because all we've been doing for the past uh, more or less a year and a half now, it's just moved sideways. Respect resistance once, twice, a third time now, and you got support there once, twice, and perhaps we see another swing. All price has been doing is respecting the high, back to the low, back to the low. And we get to the high, perhaps we could easily see a push back to the low. And if the DXY is going to give us that move, then I wouldn't be surprised if we see something similar for the $4 CHF as well. So yeah, I'm expecting more downside. You mentioned 0.878, which is around here. So you're looking for some downside back into that low. Yeah, I think that's a nice kind of intermediate target to have. As I said, I do think we could see a full swing, but that's kind of like the midpoint of the range, so that would be a healthy target to have. So yeah, I would expect that as well. I think a nice pullback at some point here for dollar CHF would be appreciated. Another lower high, perhaps even a retest of this zone would be nice. And perhaps you can find another lower high there, or maybe the trend line as well if you have a slightly deeper pullback. But yeah, I do agree with that kind of target there for dollar CHF. Things look pretty bearish here, and I do expect to see more downside. But I would keep an eye on the pullbacks here, 0.897 for some retests, maybe even a retest of the high there if we come into the trend line, if we have a really big pullback. But yeah, I do see price still falling over. So dollar CHF bearish as well. I do agree with that bias. Is that potential for a big swing? Again, we don't necessarily need to look to hold it all that way as well. You can always leave a few positions to run if you want, some small positions to run if you want. But I think that target you have there makes a load of sense. That's where a lot of momentum came from. I'm actually looking at a very similar level across the board for the USD pairs as targets. So you can see we stalled here and had a big push. If you look at the date down at the bottom, which you can't see because of the banner, let me remove that for a second. If you look at the date at the bottom, it says more or less that the 10th of December. It's kind of when we had that move. And if you look to Euro USD, I'm looking at a similar move there. That's that's the 5th of that's the 8th of November. 10th would be here, wouldn't it? Okay, so that's a different move there. But if we would take a look at which USD pair? Okay, if we go to like Aussie dollar for this one, the November, yeah, so it would be that move over there. Really big supply area. If you take a look at USD CAD as well, this one I'm not looking to target all the way down there, but I do think price can get there. November would give us this move here, I believe, as well. I think December, we've already passed December as well. So I'm kind of looking for a push into those areas. If you could take a look at the DXY, 8th of November, yeah, around there as well. So that's where I'm expecting the dollar to get to. So more or less, I'm looking at similar regions for them. And as long as we keep up momentum, I would expect us to get there. So that's the target for now. But in terms of my watch list going forward, I'm not looking to jump into another USD pair just yet until I can get probably USD CAD probably to my targets really. Just because actually I don't mind it because I'm very bearish on dollar on USD right now. So because I'm really confident about the bias, I wouldn't be so apprehensive about jumping into another USD pair. The only thing is with this position is that CAD is just so weak right now as well. So that's just a bit unfortunate there. But I do expect that CAD weakness to kind of hit a bit of a brick wall soon. So hopefully that can help out the position. Normally I wouldn't look to enter another pair that's aligned with a certain bias. For example, if I'm bearish on USD pairs, I wouldn't be looking to short euro then short pound as well because it's pretty much the same move. But I wouldn't mind looking to jump into another USD pair. But the only kind of trade I have on a USD pair would be euro at the moment. Euro pullbacks back into 1.05, which is a long way away, to be honest. So yeah, nothing really to rush about. Pound USD, I don't mind, but I think it's a bit more of an intraday setup in terms of the time frames I'm looking to take my entries on, and my risk management. I don't think I'll probably get a great risk reward with a trade like this, but on the hourly chart, that might be a nice trade. So keep an eye on that. Dollar CHF, I'll keep an eye on as well, but again, I think it's a little bit tight in terms of the pullbacks. I think you're probably better off dropping to like hourly charts for trading these pullbacks. And then Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, not a big fan of these ones at the moment. They've already had some upsides. That was not the best time to be looking to jump into any longs as well. So yeah, euro looks the best to me in terms of the USD pairs, but of course euro needs that pullback. I'll keep an eye on gold and silver. Gold don't really have a setup for this one. Well, I do, but again, this is a more hourly chart or even lower 15-minute chart for a setup. So yeah, nothing really I'm interested myself. But silver, I'm gonna keep a close eye on because I still think there's a big move to happen with silver. Again, if I go to the daily chart, massive level resistance here at 32.22. Again, if price can break through that, then I do expect to see a lot more upside all the way back to the high there at 34.8. If you do respect this level, then I do think there's a big sell to be had. So I'm pretty much bearish below the level, bullish above it, and going to see what happens today in terms of what we do with the level, because of course we're testing it now. Is price going to respect it? Is price going to break through? We'll find out, and that will kind of set my bias for probably the remainder of the week, or until something else happens. But that's kind of what I'm looking at for silver. And in terms of dollar yen as well, which I kind of view more as a yen pair, but again, USD pair as well. Looking for a big sell on this one too. So I'll keep an eye on dollar yen. I like dollar yen, to be honest. Keep an eye on 151, 200, and also the retest at 149. I think that's also a really nice place for a short as well. So regarding the USD pairs, silver going to keep an eye on. Euro I like, but again, I don't expect that pullback to happen even until next week. So don't have to be too stressed about that right now. Of course, dollar CAD will continue to manage that trade. Aussie CHF are managing that position as well. In terms of the yen pairs, so dollar yen, I like this one, keeping a close eye. Aussie yen and New Zealand yen, I like these two as well. Expecting more downside to the wick lows here. And we're not too far away from them. So I think this could be a trade. Again, today's Wednesday. Yeah, we might see a trade by the end of the week. New Zealand yen's not too far away. New Zealand yen's not too far away, I don't think. Yeah. New Zealand yen perhaps even could get a trade today, but probably by the end of the week, we could be seeing a retest of that as well. So out the yen pairs, New Zealand yen, Aussie yen, and dollar yen are the ones I'll be focusing on as well for some shorts. Pound and euro I like as well, but they need to see a lot more of a pullback before I do become interested. So pound yen, as I mentioned, go to the daily chart, try and look to catch the next one of these major highs. 1, 2, and a third one. Something like that, and that could be a nice short, but again, that might take a few days to develop. And euro yen, same thing there as well. Looking at something like that, one over there, second, and a third, but again, that might take a few days. So Aussie yen, New Zealand yen, and dollar yen I like because they're not too far away and there's still a lot of momentum in the market. Whereas euro, pounds, they probably take a few days. I'm looking at much bigger pullbacks, so I'll be a bit more kind of relaxed on those, but I am still interested. All the yen pairs I'm really looking to short, but it's just about picking the time and making sure I'm not forcing anything. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the yen pairs and the USD pairs. In terms of some of the crosses, don't really have a lot of them which I'm focused on right now, because of course a lot of them have been very bullish. For example, pound NZD has just completely run off to the upside. We're at a point where, again, you're probably expecting price to retrace, and rightly so, it is very stretched to the upside. So we definitely do retracement. But the thing is, we look to the left. There's not a lot to work with pound NZD. The last time we kind of at these prices was back in 2015, which is pretty much a decade ago. So it's been at some price we haven't been for a long time. It's definitely due a bit of retracement. The current trend is still very much up, so definitely taking that into consideration. So I do expect a retracement, but nothing really taking my fancy. I do like the buys down here though. Really strong resistance, really big breakout. I did say at the start of the week I would keep an eye for a retest of this zone, but again, it probably would take us a week just to get back there for the retest. So don't really have to focus too much on that. But I do like the buy there. Really solid breakout. If we were to get a retest, I would expect to see a big bounce at that level. So definitely something we're keeping a close eye on. Just I know that it's going to take a while for us to get there. So don't have to be concerned with that too much right now. In terms of Euro NZD as well, we spoke briefly on this one. No, we didn't. Euro Aussie is the one we did. But yeah, Euro NZD, big break to the upside. Likewise, with pound NZD, really big break to the upside, clearing out some highs. Again, haven't been in this price since COVID, so it's been a while. Not as long as pound NZD, but still a really big move. Coming into some resistance pretty soonish, but I do expect to see a bit of a correction at some point before expecting some more upside. So again, I would suggest keep an eye on the retest of the high there. I think that'll be a nice place for a buy. That might take a few days to actually map out, but that could be a nice little trade there. You can also look take advantage of the sell if you look to take advantage of the retracement. Just depends what you're looking to do. If you're looking to buy it, then you want price to pull back, find support again, keep looking to follow the trend. If you're looking to sell, you probably keep an eye on some shorts pretty soonish because you're expecting a pullback to happen. But yeah, in terms of the direction of the market, the trend, everything is still very much up for Euro NZD. Follow the trends, no problem, my man. I hope you're well. I'm doing good. Good morning. Good morning. Quick question: possible range in gold hourly time frame? Yep, I think I know what you're talking about. 2900 to 2921. Can we trade it as a possible range? Okay, let me have a look. See. So gold hourly range. I think I know what you're talking about, which is the range here. So 2900, which is more or less the low here, to 2921, which is around there-ish. So yeah, there is a bit of a range there on the hourly chart. And you ask, can that be looked to trade as a range? Yes, I would actually. Again, technically a range is always two tests of support, two tests of resistance. And it's not perfect, but yeah, I would say so. We've got roughly two tests of support there, once, twice, roughly two tests of resistance, once, twice. But I would draw the lines a little bit differently there. But yeah, effectively it is a bit of a range. But the key thing I will look to trade is still the momentum here. I understand that price is kind of ranging, but I'm expecting us to eventually break through that to the upside. When I look to trade a range, it's normally when price has made multiple tests of the high and multiple tests of the low, because then I know that the range is very, very strong. So, for example, if you've got a range like this and price has tested like 3 times of the low, 4 times of the high, something like that, then I know this is a range worth my time because price has really tried to break out and each time has failed miserably. So the odds of us coming back to support again and having a bounce is pretty high and seeing price turn around. 2 tests of the high, 2 tests of the low does equate a range, but that happens a lot more often than this. So this becomes a lot more worthy of trading a range. Again, I don't trade ranges a lot, but I would wait for a lot more tests of the high and a lot more tests of the low. The plan I have for gold at the moment is still looking for more upside. So I mentioned this earlier. I feel like this would be a nice buy, nice consolidation from was that yesterday? Tuesday the 4th. Yeah, it was yesterday. So nice push to the upside there yesterday. We'll be basically looking for the pullback of that for more upside because on the 4-hour chart, this looks like a nice kind of impulse pattern. So a V-shaped pattern, which normally resembles more upside. So I do expect to see gold eventually push back to the highs there. And judging the momentum we have on the left here, I do think we're likely to continue. And this would be a nice place for a retest, especially with support just above us, kind of manipulate that for a buy. So yeah, I like gold to the upside. But when I'm looking at ranges, I tend to look for at least 3 or 4 tests just because it gives the range a bit more confidence that it's really holding. No problem. Looking at psychological level 2900, strong resistance 2121. Possibly I do see a move higher too. Okay. Yeah. I'm looking at something like that as well. 2895, which is pretty much the high there. So yeah, I like that opportunity there as well. So yeah, pretty much looking at the same thing there too. So yeah, I would like that as well because you kind of get the flag pattern. So the flag would look like this. and then you're looking to buy the low down there. If I just remove those two lines there so you can see a bit better. So you got the flag pattern, you got correction 1, correction 2, perhaps that sell, maybe trigger some people into some sells, into some awkward areas, and that could be a nice buy there, coming back from a nice range, big push to the upside. That looks like a nice place for a buy. And then targets, keeping it relatively simple, back into the high there. Or if you want to be a bit more optimistic, you've got the swing high there as well. Again, there's no right or wrong with targets. The rule of thumb is if you're going to have a slightly bigger target, of course, the odds of price getting there are slightly slim, or slimmer, I should say. But just because it's a big target doesn't necessarily mean it's aggressive. Sometimes the odds of price getting there are pretty high. And I think in terms of goal situation, you've kind of got a good situation here because the trend is still very much to the upside, very aggressive. So the odds of us pushing back to the high for gold, especially with USD being so weak, I'd say it's actually a good opportunity. But if you want to keep things simple, push back to the high there, 29, 25, 24, I think it looks good. Do you see the flag as well? Okay, nice. Good plan. Yeah, I think it looks good. I think entries maybe on like the hourly chart or 30-minute chart or 15 if you really want to refine it, look good as well. Really maximize the risk to reward. What's the current watch list as A plus setups? Good question. So at the moment for me, Euro USD is one, but that's probably going to take until next week to form. So I like Euro USD a lot to the upside. Again, from the daily point of view, it looks like price is kind of manipulated this low here, but it's kind of a bit of fake out. We've kind of had this bowl shape pattern. Now price has well and truly reversed the upside. So my plan for Euro, if I just move this out of the way, that's my lower time frame analysis, because you've gone and broken through structure as well there too. So it does look like price for Euro is probably going to push back to this area here at least. I do expect to see a lot more upside, but that's kind of the next big level. So for Euro, this is definitely an A plus opportunity because the likeliness of us seeing the continuation looks good. And if I drop to the 4-hour chart, we've broken through a really nice level of resistance, which we respected at least a couple times, and have had a really exceptional breakout without a retest. It now looks like a good buy opportunity here. So if I can see a pullback there for Euro, that would be nice. And then, yeah, targets all the way up there look pretty good. So Euro USD longs look good. I like New Zealand yen and Aussie yen shorts as well. Again, I expected this low to be taken out here for New Zealand yen. We've had a nice bounce. And it looks like price is coming back into an area where another lower high could form. You've got one over there, second over there. I'm looking at third. Nice swing back into the low. Aussie yen, same situation as well. We've got one over there, second over there, looking at a third. And of course, looking for a swing back into that low to be taken out. So I like the shorts on them, on those two as well. Of course, at the moment, I'm trading dollar CAD right now. So I'm going to see how that one gets going. It's been a bit of a battle because of CAD being weak as well, but I'm expecting to see that follow through. We'll see if that does come into fruition. I'll probably say, yeah, just those. I'll probably say A++ right now. There's some other opportunities I'm keeping an eye on, like, for example, Euro yen shorts. I think that could become a nice opportunity, but we're just nowhere near my area of interest yet. I'm looking for another major lower high like we've done over here once, twice, possibly a third time for a sell. That could come into a nice trade, but it depends how we get there, how we maneuver. Likewise for pound yen as well. That could become into a really nice trade opportunity, but depends how we get there and how we react. But again, looking for another lower high for another big push down. So yeah, they could become good opportunities, and I'll probably mention that more next week when they actually do see some follow through. But for now, Aussie yen, New Zealand yen, and euro look really good to me. Yeah, Euro USD has had a really big move. Normally, I only have GJ, BTC, and Goldman watch this. No problem, happy to help. But yeah, Euro's moved a lot. It's because number one, DXY has been so weak. DXY has moved a lot as well. This is the dollar. Pretty big move to the downside there too the past few days. But of course, more so, euro has been very strong as well. Euro has been very strong. A lot of euro pairs have seen a lot of upside. So that was just a recipe for bullishness there for euro. But with DXY making that move there as well, I'm naturally expecting more downside now for the dollar. That retest level looks really good there at 106.154. So I'm kind of hoping maybe dollar can slowly correctively get the retest and then the continuation. And perhaps maybe Euro USD might do the same. Although it has to move a little bit further probably. So I'm not too sure if it will line up, but it looks like a nice opportunity. So yeah, Euro did not mess around this week. Really strong move to the upside. Yeah, very bullish move. Just missed this opportunity as well. I was looking to trade Euro this week too. I had a setup just underneath us over here. I say just missed it. I kind of missed it by a few more pips than that. I was looking for price to come back into here for the buy, basically looking for the next higher low and then push back into resistance. That was the plan this week for Euro. Came about 3/4 of the way, 2/3 of the way, and then just decided to absolutely fly. I was looking for the dollar to come a little bit higher this week as well, into this area before shorting. But yeah, far too weak to see that move. Yeah, true. Again, there'll be a lot of fundamentals playing into that as well. A lot of fundamentals. Let me actually have a look at the news the rest of the week. And then we've got NFP on Friday, which I'm going to keep a close eye on because, of course, I'm shorting USD, USD CAD. So that is going to directly impact my trade. But today we've got employment change for USD at 115. We got CAD PMI, so that's a double whammy for me, USD and CAD news. That's at 2:30 UK time, expected to go up. And then we've got PMI for USD as well. That's at 2:45. So it's a lot of USD news and yeah, PMI as well. So yeah, a lot of USD news this afternoon, a bit of CAD as well. Then tomorrow, Euro retail sales. Oh, we got the ECB interest rate decision at 1:15 for Euro. Again, I'm not trading Euro pairs, so that's not really of interest to me. However, I'm looking at Euro USD, and I do want that to retrace. Rates are expected to fall from 2.9 to 2.65, so perhaps that could cause some weakness for Euro, which could play into my hands quite nicely, but we'll have to wait and see. And we've got jobless claims for USD in the afternoon. And then Friday, Euro employment change, CAD unemployment rate, which is expected to go up, which is not what I want to see. I want some CAD strength. And then, of course, you got NFP at 1:30 as well on Friday. So, yeah, I would say two more big events. Yeah, got my words confused there. Two more big events this week. Euro ECB, and then I'll say NFP. CAD unemployment rate can be a big hit as well for CAD, so I'll keep an eye on that. But this afternoon we do have some USD and CAD news. PMI for USD, PMI for CAD as well, 230, 245. So we'll see what that does to the market. But again, my bias still stay the same unless we kind of manipulate structure in a big way. I'm not going to look to change my bias. Oh, my shoulder just clicked there. No, not today. Follow the trend. I will be live on Thursday. Thursday is when I go live with Nick. So I won't be live today, but yeah, catch me tomorrow. So yeah, going forward, DXY looks very, very bearish. Let me have a look at some of the indices. Did we have a look at NAS? I think I forgot to look at NAS. Someone requested NAS earlier, but completely forgot to take a look. If I do forget to look at a pair or get sidetracked. Just drop another message in the chat. If that does happen. But yeah, it looks like the indices are trying to break structure. We've got S&P, which I talked about earlier. Again, it's at support right now. Is price going to break through, or is it going to hold? So far, it's holding, and my default bias, most of the time with support and resistance is that I'm always looking for it to hold until it does break through. So my anticipation is always looking for a bounce, as long as price is showing signs of rejection, which in fairness, S&P is doing that. A big wick there yesterday. We pulled back, closed above. NAS 100. So far, I mean, it is technically trading below the range a little bit, but it's not a confident breakout. As in, I wouldn't be surprised if we do push back above. I need to see more confidence in the breakout for me to be well and truly bearish with this one, especially with an indice as well. And US 30 as well. This one did break to the downside. Looks like it's heading back to some key support. I think this one actually looks pretty good, actually. I like the shorts, and I do like the longs as well, because we've broken through that support there pretty heavily, which will leave behind some nice shorts on the lower time frames, and could end up giving some nice buys later on if you can hold support. Of course, breakthrough, then I'll be talking about some bigger sells. Okay, no worries for the trend. Have a good one. Yeah, wish you a great week as well. See you tomorrow. Don't see any opportunities today. Yeah, no problem. Happy to help, man. Of course, not every day is going to give you opportunities. Some days you're going to have to just sit back and chill. And again, that's the reality of trading as well. And it's good as well if you get to a stage where you look at the market and there's just nothing there. It means that you have specifics in terms of what you're looking for. Because if you show up to the market every day and there's always a trade, that could be the case. Depends on your strategy. Maybe you just have a very high trade frequency with the strategy you trade. That could be the reality. But sometimes if that isn't the case, then you're mainly forcing things and just making things up when they're not quite there, or just taking poor quality setups. They might technically kind of fit your plan, but there might be a lot of red flags to them, and you're taking those positions anyway, which probably doesn't do wonders for your win rate in the long run. So having that kind of awareness to understand that, okay, no real setups are forming today. So again, that could be a nice day to back test or just take some time off the charts. If there's no good trade there, then you spending hours looking at the charts actually has zero benefit, really, unless you're studying or you're testing something or you're researching. Of course, that has benefit. But if you're just mindlessly looking at the charts, then you're just wasting your time, really, which a lot of us are guilty of doing. There's so much better things you could be doing with your time, even outside of trading as well. But yeah, if there's nothing there, just either back test or review trade or go do something else. But US 30, I like this one to the downside. Nice drop yesterday and has left behind some nice shorts there. How is the DAX looking? So the DAX, wow. So this one's still very bullish, still flying, still pushing to the upside aggressively. When is DAX going to top out? Because if you look at the past swings for the DAX, it doesn't tend to go too far before having a bit of a top. So I think a top is definitely due one. We're definitely due a top pretty soon. And a pretty heavy sell as well, as we have a correction. But at the moment, it's still flying. So I'm not going to try and call that at all. It is becoming a bit more corrected now. So that's definitely a sign that we're slowing down. You can see how corrected we've become a little bit. So perhaps we push back into the highs, start to struggle. If we come back down again, okay, that's a clear sign that we're struggling. We're no longer as bullish as we once were. So perhaps the top is pretty soon, but at the same time, it's always very aggressive, trying to short the top of an indice. It's not like an FX market where we do tend to range and switch directions quite a lot. An indice doesn't do that. We just continue to move in one direction. So shorting at the highs is always just going to be a a tricky prospect here for the DAX or any indice really. UK 100. Okay, this one's still relatively bullish, but again, I'm looking for a bit of a top to form as well. Again, we do tend to have strong breaks, but we do form quite a long period of consolidation. So yes, nice breakout recently, but I do think we're eventually going to top out soon. I have marked out that 9K area, big psychological level. Maybe we might see a bit more upside to get us there before we do start messing around. But you can see we're already looking a bit more tired now. The last bullish leg to the upside was very, very corrective. It's a sign that, okay, we're slowing down. Still bullish, but perhaps the top is forming soon. So keep a close eye on that if you are interested in UK 100. But the other major indices are still looking very bullish to me. MD, BTC buy, no sell, please help me. Are you looking to buy Bitcoin? I'm not really a big fan of the buys just yet. As I mentioned earlier with Bitcoin, if I just clean up the chart for a second. So I'm not really a big fan of the buys just yet because there's still a lot of resistance just above us here. This is an area which we stalled here for a few days before we had a really big sell. So that is just not really an area which I want to be looking to buy into. If price can break through that, great. Then I'll be very bullish on Bitcoin, and I'll be looking at push back to the highs and probably all-time highs, to be honest. I'll be looking at price going a lot further. But I wouldn't be looking to buy the market right now. There's resistance above us, to the left here, a lot of rejection there. It's all resistance. This is a big area of supply. You're looking to buy directly into that. If you're looking for a short-term trade, of course, you might find some opportunities there. It depends on what you're looking at, to be honest, really, because you might just be looking at a trade for a couple of hours. If that's the case, then of course let me know what time frame you're working on. But in terms of Bitcoin, I'm more bearish with this one. Big drop last week, and 95K still looks like an area which we could sell from. So if we were to keep pushing, I think that's a really nice place to short. If you're looking to buy, I'm looking to buy around 72K. I think that's a nice place for a buy, where we could bounce from. Really solid breakout, no prior retest. There's a good chance we do see a bit of a bounce there. So that's kind of the only area I'm looking to buy from. Or like I said, if we do go and break through the zone and then find some pullbacks afterwards, that could be a nice trade there as well. But we're a long, long way away from that. Still need to break through the zone first before I do consider that as a buy opportunity. But yeah, I don't really see a good buy right now. And if you're looking at like the hourly chart or 15-minute chart, let me know. LFTJ, I'm in a buy. Okay, is that for Bitcoin? 82,348, still holding, wait to see a reaction in the resistance zone. Trade 4 hours, okay. So you are in a buy at 82. Let me mark it on the charts. 82,348. So that's around here-ish, not exactly, but more or less there. And you're waiting to see a reaction on the resistance zone on the 4 hour. Which price is that? Which price is that, LFTJ? Because yeah, that would be an area I would be wary of, because of course, big reaction there. Price came back down pretty aggressively. If I was long on Bitcoin, that would be my target for the trade, or at least an area where I'll look to secure profits and remove risk. There's nothing wrong targeting further than that. It's just that would be an area which could sell price, and price could definitely go against me. So I will try and protect myself against that zone. But again, with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, we could fly from anywhere. Technical analysis is an important aspect of the market, but if someone if we see a lot of buying pressure come in suddenly for whatever reason, Bitcoin will fly. But in terms of where I want to buy from, I would be looking for price to push a lot further down. And 73K would be the area I would be looking to buy. If I was buying a little bit earlier, then I would have my profits a little bit early as well. I'll be prepared to close that trade a little bit earlier if I do see rejection around 94K. No problem, MD. Happy to help. Do you use correlation factor in your strategy? Yes, to a degree. It's not pivotal, as in I have to have some type of correlation for a trade to be valid. But I do look at correlation because correlation is a real thing in the market. If the DXY is heading down, chances are euro is heading up, pounds heading up. Other USD pairs are reacting to that as well. Looking at what the yen pairs are doing. If you're looking to short a yen pair, it's nice to see that all other yen pairs have a similar outlook as well from shorting pound yen. But every other yen pair looks like it's about to push up. And that would definitely make me question my shorts on pound yen. CHF pairs likewise as well. If I'm shorting a CHF pair, I kind of want to have a similar bias for all the CHF pairs. Most importantly, New Zealand CHF. If I'm shorting like Aussie CHF, which I was doing, which I still am doing, then I want to make sure that New Zealand CHF is also in agreement. If New Zealand CHF looks like it's about to go up, then that makes it a bit awkward because Aussie CHF and New Zealand CHF 90% of the time do the same thing. So I want them to be doing the same thing before I do take a trade. So correlation is important, but it's not make or break. It's not make or break, but I do keep an eye on correlation. Targeting 94,853, with Trump tweets. Fairs, kind of banking on the extra volume from Trump's tweets. 94,853. Okay, that's more or less back at the high there as well. So yeah, I like that resistance as well. I would target that too. Price respects that. I'd probably look to close the trade. There's nothing wrong with always leaving a little bit on for the buys as well for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is not your normal FX pair or your normal index even. But with Bitcoin, you never know. It's very exponential, very dramatic, and you don't know if things will just rip to the upside. So if I do enter a buy position and I'm just looking to trade Bitcoin, I would have targets and I would take most of my profit out of those targets, but I will just leave some positions to trail. Like you said, trading, I think is a good way to trade Bitcoin because, hey, if you catch it right, it could be a great position with a really nice return on that trade. It's not like an FX pair, which will have that exponential breakout. Of course, sometimes you will see big moves in FX pairs, but not like Bitcoin, not like cryptocurrencies. So you might as well take advantage of that possibility and leave yourself the room for that to happen. So trading, I'm a big fan of with Bitcoin, with indices as well. FX, you can use trading strategies pretty well too, but you have to use them in the right times, which is basically when the trend is relatively strong. If you're trading in a choppy market, then you're going to get chopped out pretty easily. But Bitcoin is definitely a market that I think explodes. So giving yourself the opportunity is always a good idea. But yeah, for Bitcoin and Ethereum, I'm still long-term bullish on both of them, but just be prepared because I still think Bitcoin can retrace a bit further, to be honest. And if Bitcoin is going to be bearish, that means other cryptocurrencies most likely will be bearish too. But we'll see. We'll see. At the moment, it's looking pretty bullish. Let's see if that momentum does continue. But yeah, for now, I'm still going to keep an eye on my Aussie Chef position. Again, I've already taken most of my profits, so I'm not really too fussed about this trading anymore. I've just got a small amount I'm trailing back into the low here. So this is just extra profit to see if I can really maximize my return on the trade. If it does go against me, like I said, my trading stop loss is just above the wick there. If it does go against me, I'll get trailed out of the rest of that position. Dollar CAD is still more or less around my entry. It's just a little bit into profit, so this one's still very much a live position. We'll see how this gets going. Don't really have another trade which I'm looking to enter just yet. I think Aussie yen and New Zealand yen are the closest, so we can keep a close eye on them. Maybe I might get a trade for them at some point this week, but that's kind of where I'm at with my personal trading at the moment. No problem, LFTJ. Um, yeah, that is true. That is true. That is good. Good to hear, man. Yeah, exactly. Because trading is just very you versus the market, really. So joining a community, chatting with other traders, sharing ideas could be a great way to kind of get that sense of community and sense of belonging as well. Otherwise, it's just you and your computer, and that can get a bit lonely sometimes. So yeah, I'm glad you're finding the community useful. And if you guys are, please be sure to drop a like on the stream before you do exit. It does really help out. I do appreciate everyone who has liked the stream so far. Of course, make sure you do go and subscribe to the channel as well and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. If you haven't done already, check out the Elevating Trades Discord channel, completely free to join. Link in the description, which you can find at in the description, but you can also find it at the top of the chat as well. You can join discussions there, share ideas if you want to. I share ideas there as well. So if you want to see what I'm looking at or what other people are, or if you want to share what you're looking at, you can find that in the Discord. And of course, a lot more information about Elevating Traders. So if you are interested, make sure you head over and go and check it out. But guys, really appreciate you tuning in. Again, I will be live again tomorrow. Same time as always, UK time, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Every weekday, London time. So if you're free, pop in, say hi, and let's discuss some charts. But guys, really appreciate you tuning in. Have a great day. And I'll catch you all in the next one.